Landsat has become one of the more common sets of remote sensing images. It was launched in July of 1972. That started the process of continuous observation of the land surface of the globe. It represents the longest running record of the landscape of the planet that's ever been recorded.
The Landsat satellites pass over the same place on the Earth every 16 days. Their orbit goes from pole to pole and they capture a new place, and then every 16 days they start to repeat that. And it's been doing so for 40 years now, continuously orbiting, collecting data.
NASA takes the lead on the development of all of the space hardware. They build satellites and they put them in orbit. Once they're in orbit, we collect and distribute the imagery and ensure that the data are preserved over the long term.
Working with satellite data is important because we can monitor the environment and how it changes over time in a very consistent way. We can quantify the dynamics, whether it's related to agriculture expansion, fire regimes, deforestation, urbanization, and have a record that allows us to relate those dynamics to the drivers, population or economic policy, what have you.
It's really kind of an underpinning of what we need to know to understand the health of the planet.
One of the really big stories of environmental change is the deforestation in the Amazon. This whole area here, if you go back to 1999, the vast majority of it is intact forest. And you can just see the herringbone roads come out through the forest, and then roads come out from those, and the land clearing and the forest disappearing.
The value of Landsat is in the use of the data. That means that the data have to be in the hands of users. In December of 2008, we completely rewrote our data policy to one in which all Landsat data were available to anybody without restriction at no cost.
So they opened up this archive, this treasure trove of data going back to the early 70s. We used to say we could only use the data we could afford, not the data we needed. Well, now we can have all the data.
The challenge, of course, isn't collecting the imagery as much as it is interpreting and applying those to problems, and that's simply a massive job.
And this is where the Google Earth Engine comes in. We have to have something like cloud computing to be able to analyze those data and quantify the changes. And Google provides the computing to match up and mine the archive. An example application with Google Earth Engine was done last December. We accessed over 50,000 images. We brought them in, we processed them with the cloud. If we had one CPU working on that, it would have taken over 3 years. We did about 15 hours.
I think the key to this partnership is that our data, being applied very creatively by Earth Engine activity, is really pushing Landsat to that level that we've all dreamed about over the years of its history. Landsat data are now in far more hands than ever before. When we start having simple to use tools that are proven, tested, and can be run by people with less training, then we'll make more progress. Earth Engine promises to be that simple tool that many can use.